the original Resident Evil 2 from Hideki Kamiya. I'll always promote that as like the game that like is made my childhood. Absolutely, just still even to this day, I still try to play it every couple of years, and I still absolutely love it.
Oh, wow. I know that game is like a classic, and I remember seeing other people play it as a kid, but I never played it myself.
It's fantastic. I mean, the zapping system between the two characters and how their campaigns align, and the fact that they built like 60% of the game before they scrapped it and then rebuilt it from everything. There's been fans rebuilding what's been basically known as Resident Evil 1.5, which is the original version of what 2 is, with like Claire wasn't in the game, it was Eliza Walker. The police station wasn't a retrofitted museum, it was like a 4 or 5 story like modern police station that obviously had heavy influences on like modern Japanese architecture because the fact that it was made by a bunch of Japanese devs. But like it had some of the beats, but overall it was a very different game. And the fact that they scrapped like 60 or 70% of it to rebuild it into 2 is insane.
Do you know why they decided to scrap it?
Hideki Kamiya was working with, this was like his first like actual directing job, and he was working with another senior Japanese producer at the time, and they had gotten through a whole bunch of the game, including the story, and basically presented it to one of the higher ups at Capcom at the time, and they basically said, "Hey, this is like somewhat cool, but there's all these issues with this," and they basically just like hit him with the cliff notes of like, "This is everything that's wrong with the game." So they had to throw out a whole bunch of stuff, and it's it's one of those things where like, it's surprising, especially in this day and age. But I mean, like even in this day and age, how like a game can get so far along, and then someone looks at it and goes, "Hey, we need to fix this."
Yeah. You're never really safe until the game comes out for
Yeah,
sure.
really. Even then,
Wow, that's so interesting. I had no idea. I feel like it's so
there's a bunch of
cool.
really interesting documentaries on it. Uh, do, I think if I remember it, like What Happened or like Do You Know Gaming did a whole video about Resident Evil 2, and they talked about it as well. So it's really interesting to kind of listen through those. Also, I'm friends with some of the folks over at the Residents of Evil, and I think they've done a video at one point or interviewed a dev about Resident Evil 2.
That's sick. I gotta check that out. I jumped on Resident Evil at 4 and like played all the others since then. But
4, like the 2004 Resident Evil 4.
yeah.
That that is a great game, but it is a weird Resident Evil game because it started off as a Devil May Cry game.
What?
And yeah, and it has like nothing to like it's it is a great game. It's a very weird Resident Evil game coming from like most of the Resident Evils before it are about like corporate greed and like uh, s- science unhindered by morality, as like the main things of just like, evil corporation puts profits above everything else. The way that they promote researchers is basically a battle royale of if you kill the next guy, you just take his research and become the head researcher. That's what that's what Wesker and Birkin killed the guy who was the one who basically invented the T virus through leeches. Killed him, took all of his research, and then they became the head researchers. And that seems to be like an ongoing theme and umbrella of just like I'll kill the head researcher and gain his powers,
Survival
which
of the
is
fittest kind of
yeah, which
thing.
is
Yeah.
insane. But so you go from like this idea of like corporate greed, um, rampant science without morality to Resident Evil 4, which is evil parasites led by Spanish Captain Crunch and his some other like scientist who showed up basically proclaiming to be a prophet or something like that, and finding a bunch of like ancient parasites dug in the dirt that when they dug it up they turn people into not zombies but like um mind controlled mutants. And
Yeah.
it has nothing to do with the theming. It's just like it's just it's like a 90s action movie that you watch not because it is a good story but just because it's just like it's like watching Face Off. Like you don't watch it because the story's good. You watch it because it's stupid, but it's fun.
Right. To see Nicolas Cage and John Travolta
Trying to
beat each
out
other
crazy
up.
each other. Yeah.